You know Shaletta makes you laugh, but did you know Shaletta Brundage can also make you think and boost your business? Media personality, activist, and comedian Shaletta Brundage founded Shaletta Makes Me Laugh to celebrate and share the best of Black culture. It's a podcasting platform. You can download 10 weekly podcasts hosted by African-American subject experts at ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com is also a production house, creating broadcast-quality commercial content. And Shaletta and her team of storytellers create powerful promotional campaigns to get businesses the brand awareness they're looking for. Some of Minnesota's top businesses trust Shaletta, and you can too. Get out the word about your events and products and get in front of communities of color with ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com. She's got the power to help your business.
Well, hello. Greetings, my lean and lit lovelies. I hope you're having a great week. I am Lindy, the host of Get Lean and Lit with Lindy podcast, and I'm so happy that you have decided to join me today. Today's topic is one of my favorites. I say that all the time because I only pick my favorite topics, so that makes sense. We're going to be talking about something that will help women over 40 who don't want to focus on quick fixes, crazy diets, workouts that feel like punishment, anything negative. We're not about that here on this podcast. We're here to build muscle, to lose fat. We want to feel strong. And today we're specifically talking about your skeleton. Yep, your bones. Is this a fun topic? Maybe not for some people. Is it critically important to talk about it? Heck to the yeah, absolutely. We're going to talk about your bones today. So I named today's episode Bad to the Bone. Strong is the new calcium, because we don't focus on our bones, our skeleton, as much as we should. And if you're over 40, your bones need your attention, period. And it's not like a drink more milk mustache type of attention. That's not what I'm talking about. So let's just get into it. Number one, I always like to start with, why should you care? Why should you care about your bones? I mean, you don't see them. You don't necessarily feel them all the time unless something goes haywire. You should absolutely care about your bone health, especially if nothing hurts. So here's the deal. After age 30, we naturally, and I'm talking about naturally, start losing bone density. Just like we start losing muscle, it just naturally starts to tick down, which really sucks in the scheme of things. Then perimenopause hits women. Estrogen starts declining, and estrogen isn't just about mood swings and hot flashes. It plays a major role in bone health and bone mass. So when your estrogen drops, bones break down in an accelerated manner. It speeds up. This is why women are at a significantly higher risk for osteoporosis than men. So here's some facts for you. According to the National Osteoporosis Foundation, about 1 in 2 women over 50 will break a bone due to osteoporosis. You heard me right. I said 1 in 2, which is 50%. So that's not a rare occurrence. Sounds very common, and you don't want to be that one of the 1 in 2. So let's talk. Here's the empowering part. Bone is living tissue, so it responds to stress. It can build. You can build bone back, which also means that we are not helpless victims of bone loss due to aging. Not at all. Story time. I love to tell stories. So this is my first story time of the day. So I had a friend. I'm going to call her Karen. Karen was 52 years old. She walked religiously. She walked the neighborhood religiously. If you looked out the window in the morning, you would see Karen because she was very religious. She ate salads. She did Pilates at a studio not too far from us twice a week. She was not a smoker. She was not a drinker. Well, she drank on special occasions, but she rarely drank. One morning, on one of her morning walks, she slipped in the grass on her way to the street to do her walk, and she broke her wrist. She was very shocked by that. Her DEXA scan showed osteopenia, which is early bone loss. She looked at me and she was like, I don't understand what happened. I'm healthy. And I was like, she was healthy, but she was healthy cardiovascularly, which is different. Here's what she wasn't doing. She wasn't lifting enough weights to challenge her skeleton at all. So don't get me wrong. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. Walking is a wonderful form of exercise for your heart, for your lungs, for your cardiovascular system. Pilates is fantastic for mobility, for core strength, but your bones need to be loaded with something. They need to be challenged. They need an impact. They need resistance that makes them go, oh, okay, we better reinforce the structure. That's what bones need. And she wasn't getting any of that. So we talked about what she was doing, and I encouraged her to include progressive strength training, progressive resistance, as I like to talk about all the time. Things like squats, deadlifts, rows, overhead presses, those compound exercises. So within a couple of years, and yes, years, it takes time, her follow-up DEXA scan showed great improvement. So it's not magic. It's not quickly something that happens overnight, but it requires consistent loading onto your skeleton. And when I say loading and consistent, I'm heavy on the consistent. You have to be consistent to make this work for you. So here's something most women don't realize. Muscle pulling on bone is what stimulates bone growth. If you have no muscle, you basically have very little stimulus for your bones. So this is exactly why dieting your way into skinny is not the flex that you think it is, especially after 40. When you lose muscle, you weaken your bones. They go hand in hand. If you build muscle, you strengthen your bones. So that's why I'm constantly telling you guys, stop fearing heavy weights. You're not going to get quote unquote bulky. You will build basically an armor. So that, to me, that's very cool. How cool is that, right? It's a mindset shift and it's a change in perspective. So pick up some of those heavy weights. Okay, story time number 2. Let's talk about my friend that I'm going to call Denise. Denise was 47 years old and very proud of her long Peloton streak. I'm actually very proud of mine too, because we're Peloton buddies and we share different workouts and we love our bikes. We love our Pelotons. And this is not a sponsored commercial or anything like that. I just am a big time Peloton user, and so is Denise. She was on her bike 5 to 6 days a week, which is a little bit more than me. She would have sweat everywhere, hair looking crazy. Her heart rate would be sky high. So she assumed her bones were covered in this whole cycling experience that she was doing. But cycling is not impact. Think about it. The bike supports you. When you're riding the bike, you're sitting on a seat and the bike is supporting you. So there's minimal ground reaction force. Her DEXA scan showed declining bone density in her hips specifically. So she was shocked and a little bit pissed off, actually, because she was putting all her heart, soul, and tears into her Peloton experience. So we didn't ditch the bike for her. We just added 2 days of strength training and 1 day of light plyometric training, which is small jumps, step downs, and loaded carries. Plyometrics has a role in all of this as well. A year later for her DEXA trim scan showed that her bone density was stabilized. So she was moving in the right direction. So again, cardio is great for your heart, but strength training is non-negotiable for your bones. So let's talk about nutrition, because I always love to touch on nutrition. And we're not talking about like vitamin gummies and things like that, because that's not going to be enough. But calcium does matter for your bones. So women over 40 years old generally need about 1,200 milligrams of calcium every single day. And you can get that from food plus supplements. I would encourage mostly food and then shore it up with supplements. but you can get it through a combination of those two things. But calcium without vitamin D is not very helpful because vitamin D helps your body absorb the calcium. So you already know I'm going to talk about protein because protein is like one of my favorite topics ever because it's so important. Protein is critical. Bone is about 50% protein by volume. So if you're under eating protein, you're under supporting your bones, period. And please stop trying to live on 1,200 calories. Come on now. Chronic undereating can actually increase bone loss. So food is not your enemy. Underfueling your body is. Okay, let's talk about my next story time. Really, it's a story about chronic dieting, which is never going to be healthy for us, especially as we age. So, okay, here's the story for today about nutrition. Nikki was 58 years old and had dieted her entire adult life. And I've known Nikki since we were probably 16 or 17. We were in high school, juniors in high school. Anyway, Nikki was 58 years old and had dieted her entire adult life. She had gone through the low-fat era, the low-carb era. She had done a juice cleanse era. You name it, she did it. She came to me wanting to tone up. When I was still working out with clients, she came to me wanting to, what she called tone up. Not build muscle, not get stronger, but she called it tone up. Her DEXA showed osteoporosis in her spine. So years of low-calorie dieting plus minimal strength training had actually really caught up with her. So we worked on increasing her calories slowly over time. We didn't go from 1,200 to 2,000 in a day or a week. It took several months for her to feel comfortable increasing her calories without thinking she was just going to gain a whole bunch of fat. Focused on protein, of course, and added resistance training 3 times a week, total body resistance training. So it took time and it took a lot of mindset work for her to trust that eating wouldn't make her balloon overnight. That's a lot of people's fear. It's not going to happen, but your mind has to catch up with what your body is, feeling like. So here's what happened. She ended up gaining muscle. Her posture improved dramatically. Her back pain decreased and her confidence skyrocketed. So her follow-up scan a year later showed a slight improvement, but more importantly, it didn't show any further decline. It was basically stabilized. So we should all be aiming for progress, not perfection. And know mentally that these things take time. They don't happen overnight and there's no magic bullet. Okay, let's get real and discuss what actually builds strong bones. Let's get real about it. And I like to simplify things, keep it simple, silly, KISS, to simplify things. So these are the top 6 actions that you can take to maintain and shore up your bones. You can start taking these actions today, right after you finish listening to this podcast, okay? Number 1, lift heavy things. Number 1. If you can do 20 repetitions of an exercise, your weight is too light. Lift heavy weights. Number 2, progressively overload, which means you're going to gradually increase your weights, your reps, or your intensity over time for that muscle. Number 3, impact work. I touched on this a little bit, but first of all, find out if it's safe for you because impact work is not safe for everybody. So make sure you consult with your doctor. But if you've been cleared and it's safe for you, I'm talking about jumping, brisk walking uphill, stair climbing, those types of things. You want to put an impact on your bones so that they have a reason to be there. Number 4, eat enough protein. I know I sound like a broken record, but that is critical. And a lot of people are not doing it. So roughly aim for 1 gram per pound of your ideal body weight. So if you weigh 140 pounds, try to eat 140 grams of protein every day. If you weigh 120 pounds, try to eat 120 grams of protein every day, and on and on and on. Number 5, get your vitamin D checked and make sure you're not deficient in vitamin D. So you can ask your provider, your healthcare provider, for lab work to make sure that you have enough vitamin D in your system. That's really, really important for bone health. And number 6, this is a good one. Do not wait until you're 70 or 80 or 90 to care about your bones. If you are in perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause right now, this is prime time. You got to focus. Okay? Now that you know what you can do to maintain and build strong bones, let's bust one key myth that may keep a lot of you guys stuck, keeps a lot of women stuck. You tell yourself, I'm too old to start. Nope, I do not want to hear that. Not true. That's never going to be the case. Research consistently shows bone responds to resistance training, even in women in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. So your body is very adaptable. You are not a fragile little butterfly. Most of us are simply undertrained, and there's a big difference. So what is the big picture here? This isn't just about fractures. It's also about living your best life. It's about staying independent as you age, being able to take care of yourself and live on your own. It's about carrying your own groceries. If you go to Costco and get those big old bags of potatoes or whatever, you should be able to carry them yourself. It's about traveling without fear. You want to be able to get on and off a plane, walk through the airport, tour around the city or place that you're visiting. It's about playing with your grandkids. It's about standing tall instead of shrinking. I know we've all seen people who are kind of hunched over and who used to be 5'4", now they're 5'2". We don't want that to be us, okay? Strong bones support strong living as we age. I don't know about y'all, but I'm trying to stay fly as I get older, okay? Hopefully you are too. And hopefully that's why one of the reasons why you're listening to my podcast, because we're trying to keep ourselves as healthy and as together as we can as we go through the aging process. So that aligns perfectly with what we do here on Get Lean and Lit with Lindy. We build muscle, not necessarily because we want to be cute, although that's a great side effect, but we want to live powerfully in our own bodies, period. So here's your takeaway for the week. If you are not strength training at least 2 to 3 times a week, start now. Just start now. If you are lifting little bitty pink dumbbells from 1998, it's time to upgrade to something heavier. If you're under eating and over cardioing, it's time to rethink your strategy. Trust me, the future you will definitely thank you. All right, lovelies, if this episode hit home for you, share it with another woman who thinks osteoporosis is an old lady problem. It's not. We're not waiting for it to become a crisis. We're going to build strength now, right, ladies? That's all I have for you this week. And until we meet again, keep it real, keep it consistent, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.
Want to own a home, especially your first? Well then, welcome home to the Old National Bank Down Payment Assistance Program. We're here to help you from start to finish and make getting a mortgage a little easier. Plus, you may be eligible for up to $15,000 to use toward your down payment. How's that for a little easier? Everyone deserves a place to call home and a bank to help get them there. Connect with an Old National mortgage lender to learn more. Old National Bank. Get old in your new home.
Lead poses serious health risks, including permanent brain damage. So young children and pregnant women are the most vulnerable. So that's why it's important to minimize lead exposure in and around the home. So we're looking for lead hazards in the home. Typically we find them in old windows. The older the home, the more likely we're going to find more hazards. For enrolled families, the program offers up to $15,000 worth of grant money to repair any lead hazards we find in the home. We're replacing the old windows. It helps with energy efficiency as well. It helps with the equity in the home. So there's a lot of upsides besides just eliminating the health risk.
Hi, it's easy to just make an ad that tells you to quit smoking. See?
Action! sure is, yeah!
But let's be real, quitting is hard. It's messy, frustrating, but every struggle is actually a victory. At Quit Partner, you get free tools from people who get it. We're not going to tell you it's easy, just that when you're ready, you've got a partner to help you get it done.
When she walked in on her first day at Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas, she didn't know a soul.
I'm Zion, and I'm a second year at DFC.
A year later, and so many changes for Zion.
I love my friends here. I couldn't do anything without them. We support each other all the time.
At Doherty Family College, Zion also finds support on the academic side. Like all DFC students, Zion can count on a team committed to her success. Doherty Family College is Minnesota's affordable private college option. DFC students earn their associate's degree and then can transition to a 4-year college or university for their bachelor's. Many are students of color or first in their family to go to college.
It's nice to see people that look like you pursuing an education, wanting to succeed academically.
Zion encourages any high school student looking for a college home to do what she did and apply to Doherty Family College.
All the support you could need is here.
Ready to make your move and experience Doherty Family College for yourself? Then schedule your visit to the Minneapolis campus at dfc.stthomas.edu/visit.